Germany, SC Freiburg 1, West Ham United 2, a vital and a very good, hard-fought 3 points on the board for West Ham. Our reaction is coming up next. And Lawrence is joining me. Lawrence, how are you?
Very good, Jake. How you doing, bud?
Yeah, not bad. And just to kick things off, we are now record breakers. West Ham are 17 games unbeaten in Europe. That is the longest unbeaten European run by an English club in the history of European competitions. A record that has stood since 1968. And at one point, the game and that record being broken looked a little bit uncertain a little way into the second half, but overall, in the end, we managed to get things done, Lawrence.
Yeah, totally. Going into the game, I thought Freiburg didn't know much about them, but all the chatter, I heard that they were going to be a solid side. But going into the game, we controlled it. I mean, we a lot of people even said we could have been up easily, 3-0. Controlled it. Lethargic, but then as we've progressed, and seems like this is just the West Ham way. It's like towards the end of the first half, the other team starts to do a little bit better. They got time of possession, got there, then kicked off in the second half, and they were just really all over us. And then we got composure back from them, but and then we got it towards the end. So it was a good victory, but like I said, I think their fans were better than their team.
Yeah, they were good. Yeah, I think it's another case of we were nowhere near our best, but we won. And I think that's the case for all of our cup games we've played so far. We weren't nowhere near our best against Baka Topola, and definitely not against Lincoln. And again, tonight, arguably, I thought we were a little bit wasteful, and we didn't come out for that second half. If we're honest. We controlled the first half, yes. The second half, we came out and we spent the first 10 minutes in the changing room because they made a sub. They had an injection of energy and pace and sort of urgency, as Robbie Savage said on the commentary, and they got a goal to stand for it. That's a brilliant save from Fabianski and a clearance from Mavropanos, but couldn't quite steer the third effort clear. So that was a little bit unfortunate. But in terms of the goals for West Ham, I mean, that leap from Lucas Paqueta, 8 minutes, brilliant from Bowen to get the ball into the box early, and a superb header. Arguably, the keeper should have done better, but a superb leap goal header finish from the one and only Lucas Paqueta.
That was outstanding, and that cross by Bowen was beautiful. I mean, that's going to be a highlight shot for a while there. And it just, if we noticed, and even like then, I commented in the West Ham chat that we're at the corner. JWP's a man. He can set it out there. Perfect header in their guard. Is that we're going back to getting our corners like we did a couple years ago. Remember that when your man Dawson would get all those spots in there and Suchek in there. We're getting these goals.
We're quickly getting back to that side. And the difference we had today is that last year we wouldn't have scored that second goal. Last year we didn't have that outlet because overall we were struggling just before we scored that second goal. We were struggling and just that goal turned it completely. Let's bring Christ, we're going all over the place here. We've got you in America. Let's go to New Zealand, shall we? Andy, how are you?
I'm good. Can you hear me?
I can. It's usually really late at night or early in the morning for you. So what is it?
Early in the morning, coffee time.
Lovely. There you go. Lovely. Andy, what did you make of that overall?
Oh, pretty hard because we couldn't get any video coverage. So I think I tuned into the club website around about half time. Just managed to get the audio commentary. So yeah, it's a bit laggy, and you're listening to the radio commentary, but it's all about the result, eh?
Yeah. Oh, it is. It is. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. Paqueta is something else. Again, a really, really solid performance. A goal to stand for it as well. He is just, he is very, very good. That's for sure. Yes, big win, says Sharky. It certainly was. Roll on Sunday. Yeah, exactly. Their goalkeeper, he definitely let us a favour or two. I mean, a couple of moments for a couple of the goals. He was in no man's land for a Gerd's goal. He seemed seemed like a bag of nerves, Lawrence, to be honest with you, and that sort of worked in our favour.
Oh, he really did. But like I said, the header went in there. It's off the corner. I'll take it any day. And going back to what you discussed on the goal that we gave up, that was a good, that was a good shot there. Fab tried to stop it there. Mavropoulos was in there, so it wasn't really falter. One thing I did notice, though, that when they came in the second half, they started pushing a little bit down on the left-hand side, and Nigel during the chat brought up a good point that, hey, that's not his natural position, and you just saw the difference when Emerson came on. I mean, I remember we got Emerson last year, and he struggled, and now ever since then, man, he's just been a bright spot for us. And, Carrera had to do that position because, as we know, Cresswell probably would have been there if he was healthy, during that spot there. So Carrera came to the spot. So they tried to, attack that a little bit the second half.
Yeah, and I think Moyes reacted well, and he did take care of, because Carrera hasn't had a lot of minutes. He hasn't he hasn't had a lot of game time, and he was shouted out to a side that he's not used to as much. And he did look, especially when they started to turn the pressure up in the early stages of the second half. He looked a little bit out of depth. Andy, I think the overall in these games, and look, I don't think we've been great in any of our cup games so far, but especially when you're away from home against these sides, just getting the result and getting out there, is the most important thing, and that's what we've done.
Absolutely. Moyes and his formation, he's got the perfect setup, to consolidate, to sit behind the ball when you need to silence the crowd. I mean, I don't know the size of that the stadium there tonight, but 0 West Ham fans, or 1 or 2 just popped up in the home end somewhere, I'm sure. But no fans and playing away from home. And German sides are notoriously strong. They're tough. They're rigid. They're good on their formation. So Moyes has got the perfect setup. And going back to that, the point about Emerson coming forward and Kev, I don't think there's a single player whose performance has gone back. And I'm not going to slag off ends because everyone else seems to have a pocket in this week. But
I do enough of that. Don't worry.
Up,
Yeah.
So he's got the perfect style of playing for European football. And God bless him. What is this? 3rd year now. First year semi-final, 2nd year final. Who knows what we can do? And this is tier 2. Last year was conference. Year before was Europa. This is tier 2. Who knows? Champions League. So he might get his wish.
Well, I tell you what, PSG were very, very poor last night against Newcastle, so they might be dropping down. Imagine the old PSG. Imagine us going to the Parc des Princes in France. That would be a gorgeous setting, but we probably wouldn't want that game on paper.
I absolutely love to play PSG. Wouldn't you love to play those big sides now?
It would be good, but I mean, if we're talking about progressing through more, it's probably not the team we want, but just for the sort of occasion and for the game, that would be incredible. And to be fair, at the moment, it wouldn't surprise me if they drop down. And that's why winning these games, I think, is crucial, because if we can avoid that qualifier eliminator round to 32 round and win the group and go straight through to the last 16, if we can bypass that round, which we did a couple of years ago in the Europa League, not only is it two legs, so 2 less games that we don't have to play, Lawrence, it's also a big banana skin against a very good Champions League side that will evidently drop down. So if we keep winning these games, we're going to finish top, hopefully, and bypass that and go straight through.
Yeah, I hope so. The way we're playing right now, and like you said, that wasn't our best game, but you still see the talent that we have this year compared to the past. Holistically, as a whole team, how much better we're playing. Even when we had some bad passes and stuff, we still had, you see glimmer of a good class team that we haven't seen in a while. So, we made some fumbles, and like what you said, Jake, we bounced back. In the previous, we wouldn't have had that. Once, we were getting struggled in the second half, and then bam, we got that corner, and then everything else changed. And the team, they can step up really quick. We got a lot of quality, good ball players out there.
And I think as well, it's going to get us out of jail a lot this year, as it did a couple of years ago. It's the set pieces, and I know to an extent you were able to watch it, Andy, but I mean to set the scene, we were struggling, and once again the set piece gets us out of jail and gets us through, and that's going to be that's going to be the case through the majority of the season. I think if we're not playing well, we know we've always got, with Ward-Prowse and with the physical big, centre halves, we've always got an outlet of scoring from a set piece, which we look incredibly dangerous from.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not only the the big boys when they come up for corners. Bowen can get up pretty good for a young guy and for a small guy. And Paqueta, that first header, did he get up?
Yeah.
I've seen him,
he
leaped up. Yeah,
I've seen him clear, bigger defenders. So he's got the athleticism to be able to jump up high. And the only difference is we're now banging in corners that are accurate. That they're exactly where they're supposed to be. That I think it's going to work us in good stead. But just going back to your other point, we're talking about those who might drop down from Champions League. That's going to be tougher. We're going to see, a better class, a higher class of teams dropping down. So, those next stages, the quarters and the semis, they're going to be harder for us. But right now, Moyes is playing one game at a time. He knows what he needs to do, which is qualify, get out of the group, 6 points. And, that draw, was it Olympiacos and the team that we played last week, that draw, that's pretty good because that's less points for them and more for us.
Exactly. Yeah, right. Was it a draw? Was it? So so that's good.
Yeah. Draw.
Right. So that sort of boosts our chances there, and I think
top
Top. Yeah. 2-2. Oh, there we go. Sean, hope you're well, mate. He says neither side got going really. West Ham scored their normal sort of goals and got it done. And I keep coming back to the same point, Larry, is that we didn't really get out of third gear, I don't think, and we never really sort of got going and rampaged them as much as we probably could have done. And Bowen and Kudus missed some chances in the second half towards the end. Bowen had that sort of volley through ball, and Kudus had that chance that he just slotted a little bit wide. So on another day, those go in and we score a couple more as well. So I don't think we really got out of third gear. And for what some of us were predicting to be the hardest game in the group away from home, no fans, Freiburg, I think we handled with it very well.
Exactly. And wait till we start really going into all things, because we had a couple breakaways there that we just didn't finish really well. Yeah. I mean, Kudus had one in the second that could have been easy 3-1. That ball, Paqueta got to Prowse, and Prowse just didn't hit enough heat on it. We had some chances of breakaway, and we just get. But I think with the talent of this team and these guys and the players we have, they're going to start putting that away, and that's going to be a difference of us being at this level and moving it next, because we have the opportunity. I think we've got the skill sets on these players. If they can get them balls that are in the middle and those breakaways, and they can finish on those, and I really believe we'll improve upon that with the team we have, we can go to a whole nother level. With the crossing to the center, I think we got that down pretty dang well. I mean, I've been very impressed. Sufa last week and Bowen's today was beautiful. And then we got the corners going through. So if we can put that middle part and we start finishing there, where I think we can with the people like Kudus up in there and stuff like that, I'm happy, and I look forward to see us going in the future in the right direction.
Yeah, Antonio was noticeably absent, of course, tonight because of the little injuries picked up, and he's a doubt for Sunday, we're hearing. So this could present an opportunity for Mohamed Kudus to make a Premier League appearance from the off on Sunday against Newcastle. Of course, we'll have to wait and see what Moyes says about Antonio, ahead of Sunday's game, whether he's going to be fit or not. Let's just say he's not going to be fit. Would you expect Kudus to start? And Andy, I thought he was pretty decent tonight, and I think that's an exciting prospect to have, potentially Kudus, who's looked pretty good starting a Premier League game on Sunday.
Yeah. So he played over on the right tonight, was that right?
They all sort of floated about a bit. I mean, they switched around. Paqueta, Bowen and Kudus all sort of fluctuated around a bit. So, yeah.
That's a good point. It was a setup like that, Andy, but then they were floating a lot. You know what I mean? They were going back and forth into the middle and stuff. You saw Paqueta going out to the right sometimes and so forth.
We just got to keep the ball away from Callum Wilson. That would be disastrous if Antonio doesn't play and that mug Callum Wilson scores.
Yeah. And he'll stop mouthing off on that stupid podcast next week, honestly.
Yeah, stupid podcast. Why is he doing that podcast?
I know. Why does the club won't let them do podcasts like this, but they'll let them go and slag off anyone they like on that silly podcast, dear.
I think it's fine. I had someone on the podcast during the week, and the guy's got personality, and I think it's absolutely fine. It's just like a bit of banter. So
yeah, I think he makes himself look like a prat sometimes, Antonio.
Yeah, he does.
He takes it as well.
Bless him.
He takes it as well. Sharky says the fans can hopefully go to the next European away game. That's Olympiacos. It's going to be another fierce, very. I think that, you know, they're well known and Greek fans being very hostile, and I think that's going to be another difficult place to go. Yeah,
is that the next one? Is that the next one, Jake? Is it Olympiacos away?
I think it is. Yeah, 3 weeks time it is. So
do you know where they play? It's that in Piraeus. So it's in the port area of Athens. That's a rough old place to play. It's where you get all the ferry.
Right.
Yeah, that's gonna be a hard game.
I think that's our next. I think that's our next away game. I will have a little look. But yeah, listen. I think tonight overall, Larry, we got the job done, as we keep saying in these games. 3 points. Move on to the next.
Yep, got a lot of people into the match and stuff like that. I know they got Mabama 87th minute, but he did come on for a minute and stuff like that. There, I'm very curious, like you said, to see what we have against Newcastle on Sunday if Antonio's out. Are we going to do, because by design today it was 2 up top, correct? Supposedly 2 up top. So would they do that? You know, or would he go with 2 up top with Ings? Because we've always argued that, you know, I have my own feelings about Ings, but he's not a one-man person up front. He needs 2 people. I would love to see the same setup with a Bowen and Kudus on Sunday. But yeah, we're definitely going in the right direction, Jake. I'm very pleased.
Yeah. Before we go, just personal message to David Moyes, because I know he'll watch this later on the flight back. Thank you very much for not starting Danny Ings, so I didn't have to watch and sit through Danny Ings starting up front on his own with no one within 30 yards of him again. So Moyes, thank you very much indeed for not putting me through that stress on a Thursday evening. It's greatly appreciated. It's another 5. So I've grasped what happens here. So for the European home games, they're all 8 o'clock kickoffs, but for the away games, they're all 5:45 kickoffs. I've got no idea why, but it is what it is. We can't do anything about it. So, Andy, any final thoughts?
Yeah, just a question. How did Fornells get on? Always good to see him back. Like, hate to lose that player.
Yeah, he did.
I think he's frustrating, because I think I've tweeted it just as he was about to go off that, you know, he's a decent bloke, trying to justify minutes for him, and he puts in performances like that where he didn't impact the game. He doesn't, I'm afraid. And, you know, we've got to be real about it, is he doesn't positively give us anything that isn't already there, I'm afraid. And look, I want him to succeed, but at the moment, off of that, he's just frustrating us. And again, I thought he was poor.
I mean, he doesn't make the starting 11, that's for sure. But you know, keeping his career alive and letting him play in Europe. I think for me, Newcastle's all going to be, again, as it always is, it's all going to be on setup and more tactics. You know, if he plays the low block and we sit behind the ball and wait, you know, for them to take the offensive and then, you know, get back in charge in the second half, we could be 1 or 2 down. So I think it's all about setup and playing positively, playing forward. I'd like to see the 4-2-3-1 that we set out tonight, because I know you said 2 up top, but it looked like Paqueta was sitting in behind, Bowen Curtis on the right, Fornells on the left, something like that.
Yeah, pretty much. They did sort of fluctuate about a little bit, and I think it was a bit of experimentation from Moyes as well, because at one point we had Kudus up front, one point we had Bowen up front, Paqueta was all over the gaff. So I think Moyes probably just wanted, and to be fair, it did positively impact the game when Bowen did get back out to the right hand side, because as the commentator said on TNT Sports, you know, that's his familiar territory out there, and he looks more comfortable. He didn't get his goal tonight, Jared Bowen. He probably should have done towards the end with that chance, that one-on-one chance he had. But look, we got the job done. I think we've got a fortnight of games here, where last week we had 2 different tests in Lincoln and Sheffield United, and we got 2 completely different tests this week in Freiburg, who are a better side, and Newcastle, who are evidently a better side than Sheffield United. So look, it's going to be a really interesting test on Sunday at the London Stadium. I'm sure you know, obviously we'll all be fans will be there backing the boys, and look, it's going to be interesting. If we lose, it's not the end of the world. But if we get a result, I'd take a point off of you right now. If you're going to give it to me for that Newcastle game, with the high that they're on after last night, I think we just got to go out there, play our game, and whatever happens, happens. Andy, Lawrence, thank you much indeed for joining me.
You're welcome. Good to see you again.
Good to see you. And
thank you, bud.
Until next time, until the preview, which will be coming very soon for the Newcastle game, thick and fast. We will see you soon. From us, come on, you irons.
Come on, you irons.
We will see you later. Thank you very much.
Come on, you irons.
Bye bye.